Hello, everyone, and welcome into Fridays with Phil. I'm Phil Mayo, and I would like to share with you 5 minutes of biblical insight to help you along the way. If you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe. Before we consider the opening of the seals in chapter 6, we should discuss the structure of Revelation. We have already noted that the number 7 denotes fullness, and it is around this number that Revelation is organized. Chapter 6 begins with the opening of the first 6 seals, with the final seal opened at the beginning of chapter 8. Between the 6th and 7th seals is an interlude or pause, which we will discuss in more detail next week. A similar pause is placed between the 6th and 7th trumpets, which is the next set of 7 that follows the seals. Following the 7th trumpet in chapter 11 is what Adela Yarbrough Collins has called the 7 unnumbered visions of chapters 12 through 14. Following these visions are the 7 bowls, which are the 7 last plagues of God's wrath. These sets of 7s create a cyclical structure to Revelation in which there is an intensification of events inevitably pushing toward the end. There are some important observations to make about the opening of the seals. Of course, the Lamb is the one who opens each seal, but it is the 4 living creatures who call forth the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Richard Balcom has noted that the seals, trumpets, and bowls are all set up in a 4+3 pattern, where the first 4 are grouped around similar themes, and the last 3 diverge from that theme. We should also note that the opening of the seals is taking place in the throne room, which demonstrates that not only God's sovereignty, but that the devastations released on the earth proceed from the throne. The devastations of the first 4 seals are not particularly unusual, as they consist of events with which we are all quite familiar: war, conquest, death, famine, and plague. The 5th seal pauses to respond to the martyrs under the altar, and the 6th seal predicts the judgment of God on the inhabitants of the earth. It is also noteworthy that the content of the seals has much in common with Jesus' prophetic words in Matthew 24. Jesus predicts all these devastations, including the judgments of the 6th seal, in which the sun turns dark and the stars fall from the sky. There are 2 questions posed during the opening of the 5th and 6th seals to which Revelation will respond. During the 5th seal, we see the Christian martyrs who were slain because of the word of God and their testimony, a similar phrase used to describe believers throughout Revelation. These martyrs are under the altar before God's throne, befitting their sacrifice. We will see this kind of temple language throughout Revelation, depicting God as sitting in his temple, dispensing judgment on the earth. The martyrs ask, "How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, will you until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood?" This is the question to which all of Revelation responds. The answer is not given in a measure of time, but in a demonstration of God's certain justice. In keeping with the already and not yet nature of Revelation, the martyrs are told to wait until the full number of their brothers and sisters have been killed. The 6th seal ends the chapter and reveals the judgment coming upon the inhabitants of the earth. There is a dichotomy that begins here and will continue throughout Revelation between the inhabitants of the earth and the followers of the Lamb. It is judgment that awaits the inhabitants of the earth, and here is the first sign of it. They will call on the rocks and the mountains to fall on them, to hide them from the wrath of God and the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it? The answer to this question comes in chapter 7. Next week, we'll discuss chapter 7, the response to this question, and the identity of the 144,000. Won't you join me? Thank you, and God bless you.